Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to talk about how to use AI so you end up smarter and not dumber. If you're using AI every day, you've got to be really careful about how you use it, because there's a way to use it so that you accelerate your progress and your knowledge and your expertise and you get better and better. But there are other ways to use it where if you just stick to that way only, you're going to become complacent and stagnant and you're better off not knowing about it in the first place. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nick. I'm a software engineer. I've been using AI every day. It becomes an increasing part of my workflow and I'm always iterating and learning about how to use it more effectively. So I was having dinner with my friend last night and he was talking about how he was trying to avoid using AI because he didn't want to become stagnant. And I agreed and disagreed. I think if we know how to use it, we should still use it, but we really need to be aware of how to use it properly. Let's start with the easy tasks, right? So if you have easy tasks that are mundane and repetitive, and there's not much competence or expertise required to do them, or maybe there is, but you've done it enough times that it's not hard for you, there's no challenge, and there's no innovation. But they're important and they're useful to do, so you still have to do them. I feel like that's the low-hanging fruit of automation if AI is able to do it for you, right? If you're able to use AI to help you do those tasks, I feel like there's no risk at all and there's only upside, right? That's an easy example because from a personal perspective, you weren't gaining that much from a knowledge or expertise or a competence point of view from continuing to do those tasks. Maybe you did the first time or the second time, but after a certain point, you reach the point of marginal gains where it becomes too easy to a degree. So use AI to do those tasks, no issues. Examples could include returning basic emails, writing pieces of code which are important but you've done it many times before in a similar pattern and with the same best practices and there's nothing new or innovative going on there. And there's no issue there. Using AI is good, it's going to save you time, it's going to free up your time, and it's going to save you energy as well. Now, where it becomes tricky is when you're working on problems that are a bit difficult, where there's still elements of the unknown, where you don't understand the landscape yet, and where you're not in such a position to assess with confidence the solutions that the AI is presenting to you. Now, if you're using AI in a way where you have these type of difficult problems and questions and just asking it for the solutions or the answers and you're merely accepting it and you're going with it, that's where there's a risk of becoming complacent and losing your skills. Because all you're doing is accepting blindly a solution or an answer. Now, if you're aware of this risk and you say, okay, therefore I'm going to avoid using AI, I'm going to do it myself so I can learn and I don't become reliant on it, I think that makes sense to a degree because and you're going to end up better off than if you're blindly accepting the output of the AI. At least you're using your brain more and you're going to have to acquire the knowledge and expertise to come up with a solution. You can't just ask a black box, get a random answer and just go with it. And when you put it that way, when you're using the AI in such a simplistic way, then you're not getting better at all. However, I think there's another way to approach it where you are using it skillfully and strategically. So actually going to be increasing our expertise and our competence and our productivity without the risk of doing things blindly and being complacent. Now, the way you want to do that is you want to be in a position to assess and evaluate with competence and confidence the output of the AI before you accept what it's telling you to do. And in my opinion, an effective way to do that is to spend time chatting and talking with the AI to develop your expertise. So you have the goal of developing the competence to assess the solution before you go with the solution. And the way you do that is you go back and forth, develop a schema and a framework of the landscape and of the different components of a system and why things are important, how they're related to each other, the pros and the cons, and when things are appropriate, when they're inappropriate, in which situations does this solution really make sense, in which solutions might you have to be making different trade-offs, etc. You want to go back and forth and ask these high-level questions, these analytical questions, so that you develop the competence to assess different solutions before you go with a final solution. And I think AI is a very useful tool for this because it can cut through details and it can propose different reasons why things are important. And then when you're engaging with the AI for this purpose, your mind is still activated, your brain is still working, you're developing your expertise and competence still, so there's no risk of stagnation. And then after you're able to assess different solutions, that's where you can ask AI to present you solutions and then go with it. And if we're able to use AI in that way, I think we're using it rightly and there's no reason to avoid it. So again, that might sound a bit abstract, but I think it's pretty important to understand. If you're already using AI, you're already investing your time in these tools. Now, how to make it a bit more practical. So step one, easy tasks, there's no issue. Just go ahead and get AI to do it for you. The tasks where you're not so confident about, or maybe you're completely blind about, well, develop the conceptual schema and frameworks first with AI. And the way you do that is by asking why things are important, where you're not sure why they're important, right? You want to figure out how different things are related to each other. You figure out the advantages and the disadvantages of different approaches. Figure out when things make sense and in what context don't they make sense. So you go through a process with AI to figure those out. And in that process, you're going to be using your mind, you're going to be using your brain, you're going to be thinking about things from different angles and increasing your expertise. And once you feel confident that you're able to assess and evaluate, then you can go ahead and go with a solution that AI gives you. So, hope that was useful. That's my rant for the day. Let me know what you think, and I see you guys on the flip side.